Okay. Well, the next one I saw was a film called Grow Up, Tony Phillips. And I talked about this one on our preview episode. It had an amazing sort of like picture associated with the film of this kid in like a robot costume.
Yeah, okay.
So I was...
You didn't say a single word to me about this movie, so now I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. Well, okay, so this is written and directed by a woman named Emily Higgins.
Okay.
She's 20 years old. And this is her fourth feature film.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in the theater before. I have no idea about any of this. I'm sitting in the theater before this, and I hear the guy introing the film, and he's like, she made her first feature film when she was 12. There's a documentary about her. And at this point, I'm like bracing myself because this is a film shot in Austin.
Yeah.
And Austin is all about like the local stuff. They're very much supportive of the people that come from there. And that's great, but sometimes it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm bracing myself at this point. I'm like, oh my God, this is a film made by their local star. Is it going to be any good? Because that can be scary. You know, it's like, is this just here because people of Austin love things that are from Austin, or is it because it's really good? It's really good.
Okay.
It's about a teenager, like 17, 18 years old, who loves Halloween. He loves Halloween. He loves getting in costumes. It's like the best thing in the world to him to get in a costume and go out on Halloween trick-or-treating, even though 18 years old is generally considered too old to go trick-or-treating.
Or at least getting candy.
Yes.
From strangers.
And he has two friends who are sort of, growing up and moving on, who are trying to pull him out of it. They care about him enough to say sort of, we need to pull you back. At the same time, he has a young kid that he babysits, not that young, maybe 10, 11, that age, and an uncle who was sort of the same for him. And his uncle is kind of like a deadbeat. He's sort of living with them. He's sort of coming there with sort of a vague issue, like something vaguely dangerous could happen to him. Some kind of trouble he's in. That's sort of the biggest letdown of the film, that the uncle character, while he's a great character, they have this sort of subplot in the background of like something crazy happened, somebody's coming to get him, he's in a lot of trouble, but it's not really developed. It's just sort of there to like have the plot go somewhere.
Sure.
So that's sort of the only thing I really didn't like about the film. But it's a very sweet film. It's very much about how you grow up. It's like, you have this idea that, when you grow up, you sort of put away your childhood things. And this guy really hasn't. And it sort of asks the question, well, do you have to?
Yeah.
Is it okay? You can grow up in different ways. The other thing I liked about this was that there's this actress in this film, Katie Folger, who I saw her in one other film at South by, so I feel like she's like starting to get bigger. I've never seen her in anything else before, but there's a lot of these films where like the pretty girl falls for the nerd, and whenever I see that, I'm like really suspicious, and I just don't buy it.
Right.
A lot of times. I totally bought it this time. I totally bought that this girl was actually really into this guy for who he is and what he's who he's about in the world. So I think she's a great actress, and I really hope to see her in more stuff because she's got I hope she has a big future ahead of her, because that was the one time I've seen that sort of trope where it was like, hey, I'm a guy and I didn't really do anything to earn the affection of this girl, but she loves me anyways. It always strikes me as this kind of like juvenile fantasy of like how relationships work. But this, it works. It really works this time. So yeah, Grow Up, Tony Phillips is a very nice movie. Very well done. Not something I would expect a 20-year-old to be capable of, but there it sits in front of me. So I'm very impressed with Emily Higgins. I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for what she does in the future.
Cool.
A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.